Life unfolds in a series of moments, a chain of encounters. From the brief exchange with the barista handing you your morning coffee to the high-stakes negotiation in the boardroom, to the quiet conversation with a loved one at the end of the day. Each one a meeting point, each one an interaction. Most pass by like scenery outside a train window. Noticed perhaps, but quickly forgotten, fading into the blur of routine. We move through our days often focused on our own goals, our own tasks, our own internal monologue, treating these touchpoints as mere transactions, necessary steps on the path to somewhere else. But what if each interaction wasn't just a step, but a destination in itself? What if every single encounter, no matter how fleeting, held the potential, not just for transaction, but for transformation? What if the key to unlocking deeper connections, building lasting influence, achieving greater success, and finding more joy wasn't hidden in grand gestures or elaborate strategies, but resided in the simple, profound art of how we treat the person right in front of us? In that very moment, there exists a subtle yet immensely powerful principle that governs the quality of our relationships and the trajectory of our influence. It's a truth Dale Carnegie championed with unwavering conviction, a secret hidden in plain sight, the most effective way to navigate the complexities of human interaction, to build bridges of goodwill, and to truly connect with others, lies in your ability to make them feel genuinely important. Think about it. Reflect on the people who have made the most positive impact on your life. The leaders you admired, the colleagues you trusted, the friends you cherish. What did they have in common? Was it merely their intelligence, their talent, or their status? Or was it something more? Wasn't it often the way they made you feel? Didn't they possess an ability to see you, to acknowledge you, to make you feel valued, heard, and significant in their presence? This isn't about manipulation or insincere flattery. It's about tapping into one of the deepest, most persistent cravings of the human spirit. The great psychologist William James called it the deepest principle in human nature, the craving to be appreciated. Sigmund Freud spoke of the fundamental drive for greatness. Throughout history, philosophers and poets have recognized this yearning within us, the desire not just to exist, but to matter, to feel that our presence, our thoughts, our contributions have significance in the world, even if only in the eyes of one other person. We all carry this hunger within us. It fuels our ambitions, shapes our relationships, and quietly influences our behavior every single day. We long to be recognized, not necessarily with spotlights and applause, but with genuine acknowledgement. We want to feel that we are more than just a number, a cog in the machine, or a means to someone else's end. We want to feel important. And here lies the opportunity. In every single interaction, you have a choice. You can remain absorbed in your own world, treating the encounter as purely functional, leaving the other person feeling like an interchangeable part in your day. Or you can consciously choose to tune into them, to recognize their inherent worth, and to leave them feeling slightly better, slightly more seen, slightly more important than they did before they met you. This choice, repeated consistently, is revolutionary. It transforms mundane moments into opportunities for connection. It turns potential friction into rapport. It builds reservoirs of goodwill that can smooth over difficulties and open doors you never thought possible. It's the difference between merely communicating and truly connecting. It's the difference between being forgettable and becoming someone people are drawn to respect and want to help succeed. The art of making others feel important isn't about diminishing yourself. Paradoxically, it elevates everyone involved. It requires awareness, intention, and a genuine appreciation for the value inherent in every individual you meet. It's about shifting your focus from "how can I impress this person?" or what can I get from this interaction, to how can I sincerely acknowledge the worth of this person right here, right now. Master this art, and you master the core of effective human relations. You learn to make every interaction count, not just for what you gain, but for the positive impact you leave behind. You unlock a level of influence and connection that status and authority alone can never command. It begins with understanding that deep universal craving for significance and recognizing that you hold the power to satisfy it, moment by moment, person by person. This desire to feel important, this craving for appreciation, is a powerful force. But wielding the ability to satisfy it requires navigating a crucial distinction, one that separates genuine connection from hollow manipulation. The difference between sincere appreciation and mere flattery. Dale Carnegie was adamant about this. The difference between appreciation and flattery. He'd ask, that is simple. One is sincere, and the other insincere. One comes from the heart out, the other from the teeth out. One is unselfish, the other selfish. One is universally admired, the other universally condemned too. Flattery is counterfeit currency. It's praise offered not because it's genuinely felt, but because the flatterer hopes to gain something in return. It often focuses on superficial qualities, lacks specificity, and feels slightly exaggerated, slightly off-key. Most people at some level can sense its insincerity. It might momentarily please the ego, especially for those starved of recognition, but it rarely builds genuine trust or lasting respect. It feels transactional, manipulative. Like cheap perfume, its initial impression quickly fades, leaving behind a sense of unease or even resentment when the underlying motive becomes clear. Sincere appreciation, on the other hand, is gold. It comes from a place of genuine observation and acknowledgement. It requires you to actually see the other person, to notice their positive qualities, their efforts, their unique contributions, however small. It's specific. Instead of a vague, "You're great," sincere appreciation sounds like, "I was really impressed by the way you handled that difficult customer call with such patience and professionalism." Or, "I truly value the thoughtful questions you ask in our team meetings. They always make us think more deeply." Or, "Thank you for taking the extra time to explain that complex issue to me. Your clarity made a real difference." This kind of appreciation lands differently. It feels authentic because it is authentic. It shows you've paid attention, that you recognize and value specific attributes or actions. It validates the other person's efforts and qualities in a way that generic flattery never can. It resonates because it speaks to something true within them. So how do you cultivate this ability to offer sincere appreciation? It starts with developing a genuine interest in other people. It requires looking beyond the surface, beyond your own needs and projections, and actively seeking the good in others. Assume that everyone you meet possesses unique strengths, valuable experiences, and positive intentions, even if they aren't immediately apparent. Make it a habit to look for these things. Challenge yourself to find something specific to appreciate in every person you interact with significantly. Perhaps it's their work ethic, their positive attitude, their creativity, their kindness, their expertise in a particular area, or simply the effort they're putting in. Train your mind to notice these things just as a geologist trains their eye to spot valuable minerals among ordinary rocks. This isn't about inventing qualities that aren't there. It's about becoming a better observer of the positive realities that already exist. Everyone is fighting their own battles, carrying their own burdens, but also possesses sparks of brilliance, moments of grace and inherent worth. Your job is to tune into those positive frequencies. When you offer appreciation from this place of sincere observation, it becomes a powerful gift. It costs you nothing yet. It can be invaluable to the receiver. It can brighten their day, boost their confidence, strengthen their resolve, and make them feel truly seen and valued. A word of genuine appreciation can turn a bad day around, motivate someone to keep going when they feel like giving up, and cement a positive relationship and the effect on you. Cultivating an appreciative mindset makes you feel better too. Focusing on the positive qualities in others shifts your own perspective, reducing cynicism and fostering a more optimistic outlook. Furthermore, the goodwill generated by sincere appreciation is immense. People are naturally drawn to those who recognize their worth. They trust them more, cooperate more willingly, and feel a sense of loyalty. Forget flattery. It's a cheap trick that ultimately undermines trust. Instead, become a student of sincere appreciation. Learn to genuinely see the good in others, and then find the courage and the words to express it, specifically and honestly. This is the language that speaks directly to the human heart's deepest craving. It's the foundation for making others feel important in a way that is both authentic and profoundly effective. It makes interactions count because it touches something real, making someone feel important. Truly important goes beyond just the words you speak. It's woven into the very fabric of your presence, into the quality of attention you offer. In our frantic, fragmented world where attention is constantly pulled in a dozen directions, one of the most powerful ways to make another person feel valued is to give them the rare gift of your undivided presence. Think about how it feels when you're talking to someone whose eyes keep darting towards their phone, whose mind seems miles away, who interrupts you mid-sentence, or who offers only cursory nods while clearly thinking about something else. It feels dismissive, doesn't it? It sends a clear, albeit often unintentional message. You are not my priority right now. What's happening in my head or on this screen is more important than you. The interaction becomes shallow, frustrating, and leaves you feeling insignificant. Now contrast that with the feeling of being with someone who is fully there, with you. Someone who puts away distractions, makes consistent eye contact, leans in slightly, and truly listens, not just to your words, but to the meaning and feeling behind them. Someone whose entire energy seems focused on understanding your perspective, on engaging with what you have to say. This kind of presence is magnetic. It's a silent yet profound statement. You matter. This conversation matters. I value your time and your thoughts enough to give you my complete attention. It makes the other person feel respected, heard, and yes, important. Being fully present is perhaps the ultimate compliment you can pay someone. This connects deeply with the empathetic listening we discussed earlier, but the emphasis here is subtly different. While empathetic listening focuses on understanding the other person's world, the act of being fully present focuses on validating their significance through the quality of your attention. The understanding follows, but the immediate impact comes from the focused attention itself. Achieving this level of presence requires conscious effort and discipline. It means intentionally quieting the internal noise, the anxieties, the to-do lists, the preconceived notions, and bringing your awareness fully to the person in front of you. It means resisting the siren call of digital distractions, putting the phone away, or turning off notifications during conversations. It means training your focus like a muscle. Active listening is a key component of presence. Nodding, offering verbal cues like "uh-huh" or "I see," asking clarifying questions. "Can you tell me more about that?" And occasionally paraphrasing. "So if I'm hearing you correctly, you felt," all signal that you are not just passively hearing, but actively engaged in the process of understanding. These actions make the speaker feel acknowledged and encouraged to continue. But presence goes beyond just listening techniques. It's also about your body language, turning towards the person, maintaining open posture, mirroring their energy level appropriately. It's about the intention you bring to the interaction. Are you there simply to get information or state your piece? Or are you there to genuinely connect with this individual human being? When you make someone the center of your attention, even for just a few minutes, you satisfy that deep craving for significance in a powerful way. They feel elevated, recognized. This is particularly impactful in situations where people might expect to be overlooked or treated impersonally. Interacting with service staff, junior team members, or people in roles often taken for granted. Giving your full presence in those moments can be unexpected and deeply appreciated. Consider leaders who are known for making everyone they meet feel like the most important person in the room. They often achieve this through intense presence. Bill Clinton was famous for his ability to lock onto someone in a crowded room, making them feel completely seen and heard, even if only for a minute. That focused attention creates a powerful sense of connection and importance. Making presence a habit transforms your interactions. Conversations become richer and more meaningful. You gain deeper insights because you're actually absorbing more information, both verbal and nonverbal. You build rapport faster and more effectively. And crucially, you leave people feeling valued. This doesn't mean every single interaction needs to be a deep, hour-long conversation. Even in a brief encounter, you can convey presence through focused eye contact, a warm greeting using the person's name, and giving them your full attention for those few moments. It's about the quality, not just the quantity of attention. Make presence your default mode in conversations. Treat each interaction as an opportunity to offer the gift of your focused attention. See it as a fundamental way to show respect and acknowledge the importance of the person you are with. In doing so, you not only make them feel valued, but you elevate the quality of your own experience and build a reputation as someone who truly connects with others. Presence is the bedrock upon which the feeling of importance is built. Building on the foundation of presence, there's another layer to the art of making others feel important. One that demonstrates genuine care and attention beyond the immediate moment. The simple yet profoundly effective act of remembering. Remembering names, remembering details, remembering their stories, their interests, their milestones. Think about the impact it has on you when someone remembers your name after only a brief introduction, or when they recall a detail you shared in a previous conversation. Perhaps about your family, a project you were working on, or a hobby you mentioned. How does it make you feel? It creates a spark of recognition, a feeling of being seen, not just as a generic acquaintance, but as an individual worth remembering. It subtly signals, you made an impression. You matter enough for me to retain information about you. Conversely, consistently forgetting someone's name or having no recollection of previous significant conversations sends the opposite message, however unintentionally. It suggests they didn't make much of an impression, that the interaction wasn't memorable, that they are in essence forgettable. This can subtly undermine rapport and make people feel unimportant or overlooked. Dale Carnegie stressed the significance of names repeatedly. He famously stated, "A person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language." Using someone's name in conversation is a direct acknowledgement of their individuality. It pulls them out of the anonymous crowd and addresses them personally. It shows respect and makes the interaction feel more personal and engaging. Forgetting names, or worse, getting them wrong, can be perceived as carelessness or a lack of interest. Making an effort to remember names is a fundamental skill in building relationships and making people feel valued. It might require conscious effort, perhaps repeating the name silently after being introduced, associating it with an image or jotting it down afterwards if appropriate. But the effort pays dividends in the goodwill it generates. Beyond names, remembering other details takes the feeling of importance to another level. Recalling someone's child's name, asking about the outcome of a situation they previously discussed, remembering their favorite sports team, or acknowledging a recent accomplishment demonstrates a level of attention and care that goes far beyond superficial interaction. It shows you were listening, that you registered the information, and that you cared enough to retain it. Imagine reconnecting with a colleague after some time and they ask, "How did that presentation you were nervous about go last month?" Or bumping into an acquaintance who says, "Hey, last time we spoke, you mentioned your daughter was applying to college. How did that turn out?" These moments create instant warmth and connection. They make the person feel genuinely remembered and cared about, reinforcing their sense of importance to you. Leaders renowned for their people skills often possess a remarkable ability to remember details about the people they interact with. Franklin D. Roosevelt was known for his capacity to recall names and personal details of countless individuals, making them feel personally connected to him. This wasn't just a parlor trick. It was a key element of his charismatic leadership and his ability to build loyalty. He understood that remembering signaled value. How can you cultivate this skill? 1. Pay attention. It starts with being truly present in the initial conversation. You can't remember what you didn't truly hear or register in the first place. 2. Show interest. Ask genuine questions that encourage people to share details about their lives and interests. Associate link new information, like a name or detail, with something you already know, or create a mental image. 4. Repeat. Use the person's name naturally during the conversation. Mention the detail later in the conversation, if appropriate. So regarding that project you mentioned earlier, 5. Record judiciously. For professional contacts or important relationships, discreetly jotting down key details after a meeting, e.g. in your CRM contacts app, or a notebook, can be invaluable for future recall. Mentioning a child's name, a key career goal, or a significant event shows you care. The goal isn't to become a walking database of trivia, but to demonstrate genuine interest and make people feel individually recognized. Even small acts of remembering can have an outsized impact on how important someone feels in your presence. It transforms interactions from generic exchanges into personalized connections. It's a subtle but powerful way to communicate value, build stronger relationships, and make every interaction count by acknowledging the unique individual standing before you. Remembering is an investment in the relationship, and it pays back handsomely in trust and goodwill.